Right. Yeah, well, that's but someone how much money to oversee that grant process. 2 years, 3 years, it's this is just what it does not. Several people do a whole different investigation. Everything is worse. Still not on here. See on your quick sounds. It's already passed, it's acceptable. It's fine. It'll pass, it's acceptable.
Hello.
I didn't see you today. Anything big? Okay. Cool. Absolutely. Excellent.
Eileen, it's Scott, how are you?
Okay.
Are you ready for us?
Yes, I am.
If any point you
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Morrisville Borough Hall. We're about to call to order the regular meeting of Morrisville Borough Council, December 16th, 2019. We will please rise for a moment of silence and then our Pledge of Allegiance.
We're about to call to order the regular meeting of Morrisville Borough Council, December 16th, 2019. Will please rise for a moment of silence and then our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Somebody tell Eileen to mute the TV.
Eileen, you got to mute your TV, honey, because you're coming over here, the feedback.
Okay.
Thank you. Can you hear us now?
Yes.
All right. Just so everyone knows, our councilwoman had her foot operated on, so she's participating by phone, so that's why she's not here tonight, but she's by phone. Okay, first tonight, as we get ready for our meeting, we have a special guest here tonight. This is going to be our new junior council person for Morrisville, and this is Virginia Sullivan. I'm sorry, Victoria Sullivan. Oh, my gosh.
Roll call.
And what I would like to, do a roll call first. As soon as we do our roll call, then we'll ask for a motion to first appoint you, and then we'll do the pledge.
All set?
Yep.
Mayor Ravella. Mr. Bowers.
Here.
Ms. Dreisbach.
Here.
Ms. Chronicle.
Here.
Ms. Larison.
Here.
Mr. Ney.
Here.
Mr. Parker.
Here.
Ms. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Yeager.
Here.
Okay, our solicitor, Adam Flager, is here, and our manager, and Micah. Okay, I will first ask for a motion to appoint Victoria Sullivan as our junior council person.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion moved and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 8-0. Okay.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Say it loud because you're not near a mic. Oh, I'm sorry. We're doing the pledge.
Do you want to grab the microphone, Dave?
Is it on? Oh, okay. Now they can hear us, right? Okay. I, and then state your name,
I, Victoria Sullivan,
do solemnly pledge
do solemnly pledge
that I accept the position
that I accept the position
of Morrisville Borough Junior Councilperson.
of Morrisville Borough Junior Councilperson.
I promise to attend monthly council meetings,
I promise to attend monthly council meetings,
observe Borough Council meeting rules,
observe Borough Council meeting rules,
and actively participate in borough business.
and actively participate in borough business.
I understand that I cannot vote on any issue,
I understand that I cannot vote on any issue,
and I cannot attend executive session.
and I cannot attend executive session.
Congratulations.
Actually, why don't you get another one with your family?
Yes.
And then I'll have you sign that.
Absolutely. Welcome aboard. You consider the table.
Victoria, this is your hot seat right over here. The one on the corner there. Yep, and actually, I think we have a nameplate. If we don't have it this time, we'll have it for you next time.
Okay, you're just going to sign right there. Put this microphone back.
And I did put an agenda packet there for you so you would know what we're talking about tonight. For your night table reading tonight.
Yeah.
It's very nice, Deb.
Thank you.
Okay, we will now proceed with the rest of the meeting. We will do approval of the minutes. If it pleases the council, I will do both of the minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, completely forgot. Can you tell this is my last meeting and I'm forgetting half of this stuff? I'm sorry. I will open public comment if there's anyone that's signed up.
Have it.
First one is Kurt Holt-Hendricks.
Good evening, Kurt Holt-Hendricks, 300 Melvin Court North. There's a couple of things I want to thank Ms. Larison and Ms. Smith for their years of service on the dais. You worked hard. You've sacrificed not just the time you spent on committees and on the council, but in the community. Cleanups, beautifications. You spent your own money to make things nicer, and we do truly thank you for your time that you put out there. We hope everything keeps moving forward with the grants, beautifications, that we want to keep this thing going no matter who's up there. So we wish you the best after this, and thank you very much for your years up there. I want to comment on a couple of things on the agenda. The rezoning is vital. It's something that wasn't just the council doing it quick and shoving it down anyone's throats. The county was involved, and we want them to help us. And we want to keep that going as well. So hopefully the Stockham building gets rectified and get an owner for that actually will work there and get it done and clean it up. It's not a negative. People who are complaining that this is the wrong way to go, it's not. You had an owner there for years that did nothing and just trashed it, made it worse. So this is, unfortunately, you hope it wouldn't come to taking properties, but sometimes when it gets that bad, you just have to do what you have to do for the betterment of the community, and you're doing that. That was it. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And again, thank you very much for your years up there on council.
Thank you.
Madam President, might I just make a quick comment? Just as a point, it's not a rezoning. It's adding it to an existing plan. The zoning doesn't change, just to clarify.
Oh, thank you for that clarification. Next is Hussam Jalad. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Sorry, Sam Jalad, 45 Ridge Ave. Kind of this, in line of what the previous gentleman said, I do want to thank you and everyone for all the work you've done. Whether the new team or the old team, I'm hoping that there is transparency and a transition between the two with the issues that matters to us, and to keep on at it, addressing those issues. Also, I just wanted to thank you again. And the engagement does not necessarily end, or at this side, it could be at the other side as well. So I hope we all get engaged and try to have a better Morrisville and better community. Just wanted to thank you again.
Thank you.
Sure.
Bill Minder, please state your name and address for the record, please.
Bill Minder, 423 Crown Street. And this has been the last time I'm bringing this up, but I'd like to keep you informed that my street, after 1 year, still isn't fixed. I'm going to put it on my Christmas list. Maybe they'll do it next year. And I wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And thanks for all your service.
Thanks, Bill. And there's no one else for public comment. I will close the public comment period of time. Next, we will vote on the minutes. If it pleases the council, we will do them both at the same time. There's one for a budget meeting on November 7th, 2019, and the agenda meeting for November 12th, 2019. Is that okay with the council?
So moved.
Okay, I would ask for that motion moved, and I need a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 8-0. Next is our treasury report. Everyone got their finance statement. Unless someone has any comments about that, we will move on to paying the bills. Hear no comments. So we will call for a motion to approve the bill list and pay the bills. Could I have a
So
motion,
moved.
please?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can I have a roll call, please, when you're ready?
Sure. Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mrs. Dreisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
Yes.
Mrs. Larison?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Next, we'll go on to the reports. The mayor isn't here to do a report. We're not
Does anyone
going.
know where the mayor is? If he's okay?
I have no clue. No clue. We're not going to put the pressure on our junior counsel for tonight. It's her first night, so we don't expect her to do any kind. But if you would like to say anything at all at this period of time, you can. It's up to you.
You can pull the mic down
Yeah.
toward you, or you can take it off completely, whichever is easier for you.
I think this works.
There you go.
Yeah. I would just like to thank everyone who made this possible. I'm really excited to take up this position, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this pans out. I'm really excited. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay, we will move on to the action items. 9A is a call for motion to adopt the 2020 salary schedule. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry. Ms. Larison?
And Mike Yeager?
Yep, got it.
Okay, got it. Okay, any questions or comments on the motion? Hearing no questions, then I will do a roll call, please.
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mrs. Dreisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
Yes.
Mrs. Larison?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
And Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Motion 9B, call for motion to adopt the 2020 final budget. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, Daniel Larson and Mike Yeager. Any questions or comments on the motion? Hearing no comments, I will ask for a roll call, please.
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mrs. Dreisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
Yes.
Mrs. Larison?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
And Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Motion 9C, call for a motion to adopt the 2020 tax levy resolution. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Daniel Larson and Mike Yeager again. Any question or comments on the motion? Hearing no questions, I will ask for a roll call, please.
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mrs. Dreisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
Yes.
Mrs. Larison?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Motion 9D, call for a motion to adopt a resolution amending the boundaries of the Morrisville Town Center redevelopment area plan and adopting a redevelopment proposal prepared by the Redevelopment Authority of the County of Bucks. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mike Yeager, second by Danielle Larson. Any questions or comments on the motion? I think we all went over this at the agenda meeting. I think everyone understands what it is. Hearing no questions, then I will ask for a roll call, please.
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mrs. Dreisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
Yes.
Mrs. Larison?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
And Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Motion 9E, Call for motion to adopt an ordinance amending certain C1 district provisions of the zoning ordinance per the recommendations of the Morrisville Borough Planning Commission and the Bucks County Planning Commission. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Justin Bowers and second by Danielle Larson. Any questions or comments on the motion? Okay, hearing no questions, can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mrs. Dreisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
Yes.
Mrs. Larison?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Motion 9F, call for a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing a grant application to the PA Small Water and Sewer Program through the Commonwealth Financing Authority for $122,007.95 towards the improvement of the Melvin Avenue Basin and to authorize the appropriate borough officials to execute the necessary documents. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Moved by Mike Yeagers. Second by
Second by Ted.
Ted. Okay, second by Ted Parker. Okay, any questions or comments on the motion?
I'd like to make a comment if I can.
Sure.
So at the agenda meeting, I had asked about a match. It is a 15% match. However, based on my conversation prior to the meeting with the borough manager, this is something that I like to call stackable, meaning we already received money from another grant source for the basin. That money will be able to be used for the grant match, so we won't have to come out of pocket for any additional monies to meet that grant match. For this one, I believe, and the other one, correct, Scott?
For either or both,
Either both.
yes.
Yes. Okay. Just want to make
Since
sure.
the original one we have is in CDBG, it's not an issue yet.
Right.
Fantastic.
Okay, and it's a very necessary improvement as part of our MS4 plan. Okay, if there's no other questions, then I will ask for a roll call, please.
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mrs. Dreisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
Yes.
Mrs. Larison?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes,
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
motion passes 8-0. Next motion is 9G. Call for a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing a grant application to the Growing Greener Plus Grant Program through the Commonwealth Financing Authority for $122,007.95 towards the improvement of the Melvin Avenue Basin and to authorize the appropriate borough officials to execute the necessary documents. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Danielle Larson. Who gets that second?
Justin.
Justin? Justin Bowers.
Hours.
Any questions or comments on this motion? Just so everyone knows, we're going through every avenue we can to try and get this money. So through that authority, there's two different pots of money, basically, you can go for. So that's why we're going for both of those and see if we get at least one of them to finish this project. Anyone else? Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mrs. Dreisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
Yes.
Mrs. Larison?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes,
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
motion passes 8-0. Next motion is 9H. Call for a motion to approve payment in the amount of $6,000 to Capital Health as final payment per the EMS fund as of 12/31/19. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ted, we'll give it to Ted. And second by Danielle, is that okay?
I think it was reversed, but that's.
Okay, any questions or comments on the motion? I'm just going to make a comment. I think they're doing a fantastic job. It was a great transition this year. We were very lucky to do what we did. So, and thank you, Scott, for all the work you did with that also, and Micah, you're a big part of that.
It was a group effort.
Yeah, it certainly was. Anyone else? Okay.
I'm sorry, that was moved by Mr. Parker and seconded by Mrs. Larison?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Okay. And if I could have a roll call, please?
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mrs. Dreisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
Yes.
Mrs. Larison?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
And Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Next motion is a call for motion to approve payment in the amount of $11,012 to the Morrisville Fire Company as final payment per the fire fund as of 12/31/19. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Danielle Larson and second by, go ahead.
Beat,
Justin? Okay. Justin Bowers. Any question or comments on the motion? Okay. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Bowers,
Yes.
Mrs. Dreisbach,
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle,
Yes.
Mrs. Larison,
Yes.
Mr. Nay,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Yeager.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. The next motion is actually for appointments. There are 2 alternate positions that have expired on the Civil Service Commission. So we are going to do one appointment at a time, and I'll ask for a nomination, and then we'll do a voice vote, up or down, yes or no. And if they get the majority, they can have that position, and then we'll go to the next appointment. So for the first one, I will ask for a nomination for a alternate position on the Civil Service.
Sorry, can I just ask a quick clarifying question? We only got 2 letters of interest for these 2 positions, correct?
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I did not miss one. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Anyone else? I'm sorry, anyone else have any questions about it before I ask for the nominations? Okay. Does anyone have a nomination?
Clay Aberts.
Clay Aberts? Okay. Clay Aberts has been nominated. I will ask for a voice vote on it. Yes or no? Want it?
Sorry, by acclamation or you want a roll call?
Yeah, roll call, yes or no on it.
Mr. Bowers,
Yes.
Ms. Dreisbach,
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle,
Yes.
Mrs. Larison,
Yes.
Mr. Nay,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Yeager.
Yes.
Congratulations to Clay Aberts. He has gotten the one position for the Civil Service Commission, and he will receive the information from the Borough Hall as soon as possible about that. We have another position for a alternate also on the Civil Service, and if I can have a nomination for that,
I'd like to nominate Jane Berger.
Jane Berger. Since we have no other nominations that I know of as far as people sending in letters, we will do a yes, up or down vote, yes or no?
Mr. Bowers,
Yes.
Mrs. Dreisbach, Ms. Chronicle,
Yes.
Mrs. Larison,
Yes.
Mr. Nay,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Yeager.
Yes.
Congratulations to Jane Berger, and welcome to the Civil Service Board. And you will also receive you're welcome. You'll also receive information from the Borough Hall for whatever you need for that. Okay. There isn't any other motions. We completed our action items. I don't think there's any unfinished business, right, Scott? No new business? Anyone?
New business?
No? Okay. Then at this point, it's going to be the borough officials. Anyone have anything? Go last on it.
I'd like to say a few words. I'd like to thank everybody on council in general, but those of us who will not be here come January, thank you for your service. Specifically, Ms. Larison and Ms. Smith. It's been a crazy ride. We've done. I think there's a lot of good that's come out of the last 2 years. Seeing roads being paved, projects getting off the ground, some projects getting finished. It was a long time for Morrisville, and I think we showed that a budget can be balanced and things can be fixed. And I think that was an important lesson for all of us. Thanks for helping us.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else?
I'd like to say a few
I'd like to
things.
say something.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Eileen.
I'd also like to thank Debbie Smith and Danielle Larison for the amazing job they've done on council. It's been a pleasure to work with them, and I'm going to miss them. And it's been great to see all the amazing things that have been done in town since they've been on council, and I hope it continues. And I'd also like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Eileen.
Thanks, Eileen.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Ms. Larson?
I'd like to say a few things. It's been a wild ride. 4 years. It's been great. We've met a lot of wonderful, wonderful people from Upper County, in town, and I wouldn't change a thing. I would not change a thing. It was a great 4 years for us. We've really accomplished a lot. And I'm proud to say that I was a member of Morrisville Borough Council. It's also sad that, sometimes friends come and go, and, you just get beat up when you're on council. But it's okay. You have to have thick skin to be up here. And it's sad that those things have happened. But sometimes it's for the best. I hope going forward that the incoming council really takes the opportunity to learn the borough code, attends the classes, and soaks up as much knowledge as you possibly can, because it's hard. It's not easy at all. So I wish the incoming council members nothing but the best. I hope that they do the right thing for the entire community, not just someone who's a Democrat or someone who is a Republican, for everyone as a whole. That is my wish for the incoming council. Can it be done? We don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And, I hope someone tends to see where the mayor is, because I find it, pretty sad that for I think the last 6, 7 meetings, he hasn't been here, and his constituents voted him in, and yet he's been missing, but he had a photo opportunity and he made sure that he made it. So I find that very sad for the residents, for the entire borough. When you take that oath wholeheartedly, not just for whenever you feel like or whenever the wind blows. So for everyone, thank you. It's been a great time, and I wish you all nothing but the best. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Anyone else?
Yep. Thanks, Danielle and Debbie, for your service. And I'd like to thank this council also for the opportunity to allow the Red Bridge to be redone. We'll be reopening this weekend. We owe a debt of gratitude also to Toll Brothers, Home Depot, I believe it's NJS Concrete, who will be donating some concrete to us. Cunningham Hardware contributed to this project. Stephen Leiby, Fred Kerner, Richard Vesvila, who consulted, Josh Gradwell and his wife Lynn Vogel. A lot of people contributed, and I think it's going to be a very nice project when it's done. We're looking to reopen this weekend, and I'm hoping, with regards to the new council coming in, I hope, Mr. Mitchell, we will be seeing you again next year. It's been great working with you, and I guess the only other thing I would add is if there's anyone who's been considering getting involved with public service, I'd like to speak out to maybe people that are either retired or semi-retired. There's a wealth of information and experience in this community. Right here, we have people retired from federal, state, local government, captains of industry. If anybody would like any information, you're welcome to reach out to me or even to the elections board in Bucks County. As Danielle pointed out, it's a very hard position up here, but it's rewarding being able to be involved in your community and have some say in the direction that community is going in. So I wish you all a Merry Christmas, and thank you very much.
Anyone else? Okay, I'll go last. For me, I just want to thank the Morrisville residents for the honor of being able to serve the community for the last 8 years. It's something that is rewarding as well as hard, but those rewards, I think, are greater because you've seen what you could do to help the town. I want to thank the council that has that has worked together in the last couple of years to really move that notch forward for Morrisville. A lot of the tools that were just put in place are so important for the revitalization of the town, from the LERTA program to the redevelopment authority handling that Stockton building, comprehensive plan that the Planning Commission is working on, road program that's in. It's been a lot of really good projects that are going through. Patriots Park is well on its way. Melbourne Court Basin, we were fortunate enough to get the kind of money that we did to get that taken care of, or would have been out of tax dollars to do it. So I want to thank everyone for working together on those projects, and I hope that the new council will continue with these projects and move that notch a little further. I wish them the best and represent us well. Not everyone's going to like everything that you do. Just do the best that you can and what's benefit for Morrisville. I'm going to say something to Ted, who's been working with me for Patriots Park since day one, buddy. I'm counting on you, okay? Get it over the finish line with everyone, all right?
You have my word on that.
Thanks, Ted. All right, and for everyone sitting there and in the audience, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate with your family. The most important thing, besides any of this, is your family and your friends.
Yep.
That is the gift that you get from the Lord. So make sure that you keep that here. That's the most important thing. This comes second. Have a wonderful holiday season, everyone. And I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I didn't think so. We're adjourned.
And by the way, if anyone hasn't been by Patriots Park or Summer Seat recently, we had some weather delays, but I think we're going to wrap up by the end of the week. The
Nice.
driveways of Summer Seat look pretty good. If you'd like to go take a look.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty.